Peace in, folks. How you doing? There's a lie on here, right in the middle of the screen. Peace in. Use of force. Positive mental attitude. We're always trying. And often succeeding. So, you know, it's not so bad. And then you see little posts through the door. It says 1 in 3 people who have the virus have no symptoms. 1 in 3 who have it have no symptoms. So you could be spreading it without knowing. There's no scientific data to back that up at all. At all. I've looked into it. There's no scientific data to back that up. In fact, actually, most of the science says you need to be coughing up the active virus. There's lots of things that just don't make sense, that don't add up when you're just being objective. And it's no surprise to me, right? The government are fucking gangsters. They're as crooked as they come. We need a reform. You know, the Metropolitan Police Force in the 1950s got reformed because it was so corrupt. Now, the government is so corrupt, and that's spilling out onto the Metropolitan Police Force. So what are we going to do about it? You know, you should not be locking healthy people down like this. And this isn't just my opinion, which it is my opinion. I do believe this to be true. We should not be locking down healthy people. People that are weak and vulnerable, we should be looking after them. We should be paying all our attention on that. Healthy people can kill this. There was some bullshit a little while back about herd immunity not working. That's not true. If it was true, this would be a totally different situation because people wouldn't be getting over it. Boris Johnson got through it. Apparently he got it twice. Sorry, I thought I could smell a bit of bullshit in here somewhere. I don't believe any of these crooked, lying, deceitful people. I don't trust one of them. Why would you? None of us have trusted them. I don't know anyone who's ever said to me, oh, I really trust the government. But now it's that serious. They've got people in this catch where it's like, well, they can't really be lying about this, surely. And it's global, so there's no way, because not many people have taken the time to look into the global control network. Like, sure, that sounds like some conspiracy theory stuff, but when you just follow the paper, when you follow the businesses, you find the fucking answers. It's not hidden. It's not a secret that the power families have control over resources, have control over the banking network, have serious influence throughout society. You know, and it's global, right? Because there's been globally people trying to control people for fucking as long as we've got written history, right? I don't find that acceptable. Quite the fucking opposite. I find it highly unacceptable. It's unacceptable. They've got way too much power over our choice, and then they can tell us that we must not leave our homes. Based on what? What, based on the death numbers over the last 5 years? And there's no major spike? I'm not saying COVID's not real. What I'm saying is the government are inflating the numbers. I'm saying the government are lying, and they've admitted it. They said anyone who dies that's had a positive COVID test in the last 48 hours, and that got extended and reduced and extended, so I've lost where it's at, they get written as a COVID death. Just imagine, all these people. You've lost someone. How fucking harsh is that? But they were ill. Or they weren't ill. Or you didn't know they were ill. Or you didn't know they had a weak immune system because they hadn't been tested for anything for years. What happens when people die of cancer and they're getting told that it's fucking COVID? The government said they've lied. They're telling us that they're rating deaths that are not actually COVID deaths, and they're going on the fucking death figure. And now they want to pump out this vaccine, and the Pfizer vaccine I can talk on because I've looked into it recently. I made a video on it. That shit's nuts. It's in clinical trials, and you and I are the fucking lab rats. Go look at the government site. I've got it. It's still on my internet search. Just go look at the government website. And it says categorically, it's not FDA approved. This is in clinical trials. It doesn't guarantee any cure, doesn't guarantee any resilience to it. Doesn't guarantee anything. And not only that, if it fucks you up, you can't sue anyone. Because you've got to sign a waiver to start with. Because no one's liable. So it's not FDA approved. It's under clinical trials on you and I. And no one's responsible. 1 in 4 people are catching COVID. 1 in 4 out of 1,000, sorry. 1.4 people in 1,000 are getting COVID. That's not dying from. That's catching it. It's not a big number. Something is clearly not right about this. We're being fucking corralled. And it's... Jeez. I mean, I truly believe there's some people that are just straight up not going to question this. And I mean, I'll be interested to see what happens this year with measures and what they try and do. Because this is not a lockdown. This is not lockdown level serious. No way. Based on the numbers, based on everything. This is being handled totally wrong. And I believe they're lying. I believe they're fucking inflating it. I believe they're trying to cover up the crash that the fucking market was going into anyway. I believe it's connected to the economics. I believe it's connected to the global control network. That shit is all happening. People meet. Prince Charles and his buddies have been meeting for years in Davos. George Soros. All these people that are really powerful with lots of money that have got really fucked up agendas. And they've been public with it about it for years. So, you know, I'm convinced unless we find reason to unite and turn these people over, I believe what they have started, they ain't ever going to stop. Ever. Like, the reality of what they're trying to push in. And obviously, I could be wrong. End of this year, right? We could get to summer, everyone's released again, and they don't lock us down again in winter. And they don't start bombarding us with COVID everything, ignoring cancer, ignoring the suicide rate, ignoring the fucking child abuse, ignoring the suicide rate, ignoring the child abuse, right? And they're going to keep pushing this COVID thing again. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not going to do that, right? Because maybe they're not really this evil, twisted, lying control system that's been dominating the planet for years. I mean, you know, maybe this hierarchical system of control doesn't exist, and maybe I'm completely bonkers, right? But we're taught that this hierarchical system exists. We're taught that we're ruled by murderers and greedy, business-like politicians. So, I'm not wrong, because that's what we're taught and we all know it. It's just they also glorify it all, so we continue to be submissive. And where's it going to get us? Where's it going to get us? I will always do my best to enjoy what I do. Always. Like, regardless of this, I've got, you know, I'm working hard at many different things that I want to achieve. And I'll continue doing that. But, I mean, one of the things I want to achieve is a reform of the high end of society. So, that's handy, because it ties in with everything that's going on. You know, this should have been done if anyone's not realising it, I hope they do realise. I'm aware that there's going to probably be a lot of people that aren't going to realise, might never realise, I don't know. You know, I believe in consciousness. Quite frankly, I believe in consciousness, and that changes, and that's connected to energy, frequency and vibration, right? It's connected to energy, it's connected to frequency, right? Every cell, like, what was it I heard the other day about how much electric charge we hold in us? Like, every single cell in our body has an electric charge, and when you add them together, it's phenomenal, because we've got billions of cells in our body. I was watching it was a science, the World Science Festival, I think it was, the other day, and they were talking about shit, just totally lost that thought. It jumped out of my head. Energy, frequency, vibration. Oh yeah, and they were talking about our cellular makeup, right? And they were talking about how they've now managed to create like real life representation, cartoon, 3D animations, basically 3D animations. That's what they called it, right? So you don't any longer have to see this, like, you know, I don't know, like the helix, double strand helix, the DNA, or the, like, in this just sort of basic scientific workplace, you know, 2D thing. It's the workings of it, bro. Seriously, mate, every single cell looks like it's got a whole shit ton load of like little fucking nanobots in it, all doing this little thing of taking energy to the top of the cell, bringing it back down into the bottom of the cell, and, you know, transferring stuff in there. You've got these things that are shooting up on like little fucking like they're shooting out of something, like they're on little strings, and then they fucking meet up, they create something else. All this is happening in this tiny ass cell, and every single one of our cells is doing this. It is fascinating. It just makes you think even more. Wow, we were created different, weren't we? Like, I don't believe in Darwin's theory of evolution. Not even close. Not even close. There's too much ancient history that shows that that's guff. And sorry to any academics or otherwise that might be insulted by that may or may not see this, but whatever, that's your gig, not mine. You know, I disagree. Feel free to come and disagree with me. I'm cool with that. You know, I won't have a lot to say with. I'm happy to just disagree. You know, you don't need to believe what I believe. I don't have to believe what you believe. It's the beauty of my, you know, and many people's belief systems, is that I don't care what you believe. That's your belief. It's not actually that important to me in any way, shape or form. My own belief is important to me, and I think your belief should be important to you. But I think my belief has got nothing to do with you, and I think your belief has got nothing to do with me. And when we're doing that, we don't get so personal and caught up on things, do we? You know, we don't have to argue our point because it's connected to everything we believe in. We can just go, oh, all right, fair enough. Well, actually, I find that point interesting you're making, say more. Or you might be like, oh, honestly, I categorically disagree. You know, whatever, right? But I think now more than ever, we need to be able to agree to disagree. I failed at this. I'm still learning, right? I found it too hard having many of my friends around me that didn't want to get involved in learning more, like going internally and owning their stuff more and learning more externally from, you know, information and as to why we might need change, you know. And it just absolutely was the hardest thing to deal with. I couldn't, most people I don't see because of it, because it was so hard, and it's the thing that I needed to do. Now I'm just practicing doing it, you know, with anyone who's around. But we're up on that time, my friends, so use the force. positive mental attitude. Be kind with your thoughts to yourselves like you would to others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would others, and let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness course. Peace in.